There is a moment that separates intelligent people from everyone else. It is not when they win an argument, it is when they refuse to have one. Most people think intelligence means being able to argue better, debating harder, proving your point more effectively. That is what stupid people think intelligence looks like. Real intelligence is recognizing when someone is not worth arguing with and walking away before you waste a single breath. Machiavelli understood this 500 years ago. He sat in rooms with princes, nobles, and merchants, some brilliant, some idiots. And he learned something that most people never learn. Arguing with a fool makes you look like a fool, because the audience cannot tell the difference. And once you understand this, you will never argue with stupid people again. Drop a comment right now and tell me the last time you wasted your energy arguing with someone who was never going to change their mind, because recognizing the pattern is the first step to never repeating it. Here's the truth about arguing with stupid people. You cannot win. Not because your argument is weak, not because you do not have the facts, but because winning requires the other person to recognize they are wrong. And stupid people do not do that, ever. They do not argue to find truth. They argue to defend their ego, to feel right, to win the emotional battle. You can present facts, they will ignore them. You can use logic, they will dismiss it. You can explain clearly, they will misunderstand intentionally. Because they are not listening to understand, they are listening to respond. And their response will always protect their ego, not pursue truth. Machiavelli watched intelligent princes waste hours trying to convince stubborn nobles of obvious truths. The nobles never changed their minds. They just dug in deeper, made the prince look desperate. When you argue with a fool, you are playing a game where they set the rules, and the rules are designed so you cannot win. So what do intelligent people do instead? They do not engage. Someone says something stupid, you do not argue them. Someone argues something false, you do not debate them. Someone tries to bait you, you do not take the bait. You just let it go. You let them be wrong. You let them think whatever they want. Because here's what intelligent people understand. Being right does not require other people to admit you are right. You can be right in silence. You can be correct without convincing anyone. Your certainty does not depend on their agreement. Machiavelli wrote that the wise prince does not waste time trying to teach those who refuse to learn. He simply moves forward with those who understand. The fools get left behind, not because he argued with them, but because he stopped giving them his attention. Here's why arguing with stupid people is dangerous. It makes you look stupid, not to yourself, but to everyone watching. Because observers cannot always tell who is right and who is wrong. What they can see is two people arguing, one calm, one emotional. And if you get dragged into the emotional fight, if you lose your composure, you look just as bad as the fool. Machiavelli understood this. When you wrestle with a pig, you both get dirty, but the pig likes it. The fool wants you to argue. They want you to get emotional. They want you to look just as unreasonable as they are. So intelligent people do not engage. They stay above it. They let the fool rant alone, and they maintain their composure, their status, their dignity. Because silence in the face of stupidity looks like strength. Arguing looks like insecurity. Here's what most people do not understand. Stupid people are not stupid because they lack information. They are stupid because they refuse to process information that conflicts with what they already believe. You cannot fix that with more information. They believe what they believe for emotional reasons, identity reasons, and no amount of facts will change that. Machiavelli saw this with religious fanatics and stubborn nobles. No matter how much evidence you presented, they would twist it. So he stopped trying. He saved his energy for people who could actually think. Those are the only people worth talking to. If you are starting to see why intelligent people refuse to argue, hit that subscribe button right now, because what I'm about to reveal is the exact strategy Machiavelli used to handle fools without ever looking weak. Here's the strategy intelligent people use: strategic silence. Someone says something idiotic, you do not argue. You just smile slightly, nod, say nothing. Let the silence sit. Let them keep talking. Because when you do not engage, they look foolish all by themselves. They rant at someone who is not fighting back. They argue with someone who is not arguing. And everyone watching sees exactly what is happening. Machiavelli used this constantly. When someone said something stupid in a council meeting, he wouldn't debate them. He would just let them finish, let the stupidity hang in the air, and then he would move on to the next topic. That is power. Being so secure in your intelligence that you don't need to prove anything. Here's another strategy: agree and redirect. Someone argues something stupid. Instead of saying they're wrong, you say, "That's one perspective." You acknowledge they spoke, but you do not validate what they said. Then you redirect. Anyway, the real issue is, and you move the conversation forward. This avoids the argument and shows everyone you're focused on solutions while they are focused on being right. Here's the third strategy: let them have the last word. This one is hard because ego wants to win, but intelligent people don't care about the last word. They care about the outcome. So, when a fool is arguing, intelligent people make their point once, clearly, calmly, and then they stop. The fool will respond. They will twist what you said, and you do not respond. You just let them have it. Because the last word in an argument does not determine who was right. Reality does. If you're right, reality will prove you right. You don't need to convince them. You just need to be correct. Machiavelli wrote that the prince who needs to prove himself is weak. The prince who lets his results speak is strong. Here's what happens when you stop arguing with fools. You get your time back, your energy back, your peace back. Because arguing is exhausting. It drains you emotionally. It wastes hours of your life. And for what? To convince someone who was never going to be convinced? Intelligent people realize their time is too valuable for that. So they stop. They let fools be fools. And they invest their time in things that actually matter. Machiavelli spent his time writing, advising princes who listened, building relationships with intelligent people. He didn't spend it arguing with idiots. Your mind is valuable too. Your time, your energy, your attention are finite resources. Stop giving them to people who don't deserve them. Here's the final truth. Arguing with stupid people never changes their mind, but it always changes yours. Not your beliefs, but your mood, your energy, your peace. You start the argument calm. You end it frustrated, drained. They start stupid. They end stupid. Nothing changed for them, but something changed for you. You gave them your peace, and you got nothing in return. Intelligent people refuse to make that trade, so they do not engage. They do not argue. They do not explain. They just move on, unbothered, at peace, because they understand something most people never learn. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. Subscribe right now for more Machiavellian wisdom on dealing with difficult people, and drop a comment telling me which strategy you're going to use next time someone tries to bait you. Strategic silence, agree and redirect, or let them have the last word. Commit to one. Here's what Machiavelli would tell you. Do not argue with fools, not because you cannot win, but because winning doesn't matter. Let them be wrong. Let them waste their own time. You have better things to do. You have a life to build, goals to achieve, people who matter to connect with. Arguing with fools is not on that list, so stop doing it. The next time someone says something stupid, smile, nod, move on, and watch how much peace you get back. The question is not whether you are right. You probably are. The question is whether being right is worth your peace. It's not. So stop arguing, start ignoring, and reclaim your energy for things that actually matter.